Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about 12 things I wish I had known about traveler's notebooks when I was a beginner in this TN journey. I hope that you find this helpful as you start on your own journey and figure out what you want out of traveler's notebooks and planning and journaling. I will, as per usual, put links in the description to everything that I mention in case you would like to get something for yourself or a gift for someone else. And I will also put timestamps in the first pinned comment if you'd like to jump back and forth between the 12 things. So first of all, a little bit of background. I started in this Traveler's Notebook community in about 2015, 2016. And I started by trying to make my own. That's a story. So I tried to make my own, and then I learned how to go out and find others that were made for me, purpose-built, exactly what I needed. And in that time, it's been 8 or 9 years, this industry has just exploded. It has really evolved, and I have grown with it, and I've learned about traveler's notebooks, planner inserts, how to archive them, all that kind of good stuff. I've learned about it over that time, and I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm not going to say, oh, I would have saved so much money if, 8 years ago I had just started with perfection. Well, you know what? Perfection didn't exist 8 years ago. So here's what I'm going to save you some time on. I'm going to save you those 8 years so you can jump into it right now. So first of all, I would probably not have tried to make my own and decide whether I like traveler's notebooks based on that. I started with this contraption that I put together. This has a plastic cardstock inside it, covered by like a fabric cardstock from Joann, and then inside another fabric cardstock. And then I punched holes and put elastics, and I made my own inserts out of just paper that I had on hand and little bags and envelopes and all kinds of things. Look, I even put little card pockets, and I had paper clips and even a hair clip. I was prepared, except I wasn't prepared for the fact that, first of all, this is just a really weird size. It's too big. It does not balance well. Like if you're sitting in a meeting, you can't really sit and write with it because it doesn't have enough stability. It just is not what I needed. I have kept it here to just kind of look at and remind myself of how far I've come in this journey. And also because someday I might use it. I think that sitting on a desktop and not actually trying to balance it out where you're traveling and trying to put it in your tote bag and have it hold up, if I just keep it on my desktop, I should be able to use it as some kind of an art journal in the future. But for now, it's just kind of sitting on my bookshelf laughing at me. So I started with that, and I decided I didn't like traveler's notebooks, and I moved on and I looked for other things. And then came this. This is what I would have started with if they had had it from day one. This is from Poromo. It is a much less expensive choice than a Midori Traveler's Company notebook. And it has the blessing of pockets. 1, 2, 3 card pockets here. It has a folio pocket, a secretarial pocket, a pen loop. It's real leather. It's nice and sturdy. It has the band that comes across with the protection, or you can use that as a pen loop. And it has 4 bands, so it can expand with you. And it just made me really, really, really happy. And if I had known, or if it had existed and I could get this for something in the neighborhood of $20-something, I probably would not have done this. I wouldn't have gone to the trouble of trying to make this. I probably spent $20 trying to put this together when I could have just bought this. So if this had existed from day one, I would have started with this. Now, I have to tell you that these have changed a little bit over time. The new Poromos look like this. They have a different kind of leather, and they do not have a pen loop anymore. But otherwise, they still have those pockets, still have a secretarial pocket in the back. They're still nice and sturdy. They still have 4 bands. Yeah, so they're still a really good choice, okay? This is a great starting point. If you want to dip your toe in the water of the Traveler's Notebook world and you want to see what it feels like, these are absolutely wonderful choices to start with. A similar price point is something like this from Wanderings. And this one, again, is a nice leather. It's got pockets, 1, 2, 3 pockets here, folio pocket on the back. This one does not have a pen loop. So you pull this across and you can either stick a pen in here like so, or you can put this here like a guard and stick your pen in there like that, okay? So these economical leather traveler's notebooks on Amazon are great choices and a great way to try out the whole system to see if you even have any interest in it. They are also good for archiving, which we'll talk about in a minute. And honestly, I think you could get away with just using one of these forever. You don't even need to bump up to like custom designs and, you know, very small scale artisan pieces, but you might want to once you get the bug. Once you get into the Traveler's Notebook world, you might want to expand beyond these, but these are a fantastic starting point. So Poromo here and Wanderings here. And as my last video alluded to, I used to recommend September Leather or Newestor on Amazon as well. However, they've been having some issues lately with maybe their quality in delivery. I believe the word is mold. They've been arriving with some mold on them. So right now I'm not comfortable telling you that you should go grab one of these, but stick at the moment with Poromo and Wanderings. And be sure to use the links in the description, partly because they help me. Thank you very much. It's like a tip jar that doesn't cost you anything, but also because they have varying styles. And like if you just Google Poromo, it might not even come up on Amazon. So to get the ones with the pockets like this, use the links and it'll take you directly. I think that the Wanderings is also available on Etsy if you don't want to shop on Amazon. All right, so I would have started with something like this. Number 3, if I had had the means and if he had had his shop back then, I would have started with an apple pig. I didn't get my first apple pig until like 2021, I think, maybe 2022. This glorious thing is from Etsy. So you go to Ting's Etsy shop called Apple Pig Leather Art. This is Ting. He is the sweetest, most kind, generous leather craftsman based in Taiwan. He works in a small little artisan studio. And he is really good at customizing your ideas. So if you have envisioned what you want a traveler's notebook to look like, and there's nothing on the market that matches it, you can take those ideas to Ting, and he can probably figure it out for you and make you something. So this is kind of just his standard thing. This is a Naughty Fox leather. That's what the finish is called, Naughty Fox, that pretty cognac color. And I'll show you how I have it set up here. It's got pockets in the front, has this clever pocket here that you can slip cash into, card pockets. This folds so that when you have cards, they don't get bulky. You go like this, and then this is flat, and then, you know, your books are here, and you can write nice and flat. It's a really nice feature. I have 3 inserts here plus a Midori card pocket, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then it opens up this way. You have a flap here. I usually keep a ruler in here, but you can put pens in here. And then there's another little secretarial here. I have a pen loop added, but I actually don't end up using it because you can clip the pens here on the corners like this and they stay put nicely. This one has 4 bands and it's just wonderful. It feels really good. It's held up beautifully. These are obviously not the same price as these. So the ones that you grab from Amazon are in stock. Usually it'll tell you, yeah, that's available for Prime shipping. It'll be here in 24 hours, instant gratification. They usually cost somewhere between like maybe $25, $35, somewhere in there right now. The prices fluctuate a little bit. This is not that. This is going to be custom made for you. Ting Apple Pig is going to listen to you. He will look at the sketches that you draw out. You can show him exactly what you want. It'll take a couple of weeks to actually produce your traveler's notebook, and then it'll take a couple of weeks to actually come to you wherever you are in the world. So it's a longer process, but it's a process made with love. It's also more expensive, but the quality is 10 times better. So heads up, if I had known about Apple Pig earlier, I would have started with Ting. He's my favorite. If you want a quick look at his other leather colors, he has more now, but when I last ordered, these were the leather choices. This is Bluebird. This is Honey Beagle. No, sorry. Bluebird. This is Naughty Fox. This is Black Panther. This is Apple Pig, like red, apple red. This is Duke Duck, like a burgundy. This is Sun. You can actually put this out in the sunshine and it will tan to like whatever depth of color that you want. So that's Sun. This is Honey Beagle. So it's a lighter color than the Naughty Fox. And this is Matcha, like matcha tea, so green tea. So those are just a few of the colors that he offers. And now, like I said, I think he has some new colors as well. So quick little introduction to Apple Pig. If I had known about him earlier, I certainly would have ordered from him earlier. Okay, number 4. I wish that I had known about Midori's card pocket holder sooner, because I could have been using my traveler's notebook as a wallet from the get-go instead of carrying an extra wallet. So if you start out with something like the Poromo or the Wanderings, or if you jump up to something like Ting's custom leather, and you have these 3 pockets, that's a great start. It works really well for like my debit card and credit cards. But what about my driver's license, my insurance card, my library card, my dentist business card, that kind of stuff? What do I do with all those things? Well, Midori makes this little contraption. And I don't remember the exact number in the Travelers Company lineup, so I will put the link to it down below. But you open it up and it has 12 pockets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are probably other brands out there, but I can tell you that I've been using this one from Travelers Company for like 3 or 4 years, and it has held up impeccably. I've moved in and out of different notebooks. I've put lots of different card configurations in it, and it has never ripped at all. So I put a combination of like my driver's license goes right first. I have pictures that are meaningful to me. I have family pictures. I have, like I said, that insurance card, AAA card, that kind of thing. So it's very, very useful. So in my current setup, I usually have the like credit card and debit card I use most right here, easy to grab. And then I have everything else that goes in this. And it wraps around your first insert like this. So that way your wallet is in the front. In the case of like the Wanderings, I would slide some cash. Oh, look, there's some cash. Traveler's notebooks grow money. Did you know that? All right, so I didn't realize those were in there. I was in the middle of changing this the other day and I forgot to move the money. All right, so usually I keep my cash just like this. Now I need to move it over here because I've moved to Apple Pig lately. So cash goes in here, these go in here, and that way I have money. I have all the cards I need. I have some inspirational photos. I have a place to put receipts when I'm out and about. And if you look up Apple Pig's Etsy shop, you'll find that he has some that are made to be wallets that actually have like a zippered pocket included, which is nice because you can carry coins and things like that. I tend to never have coins except in the divider in my car. I keep a couple quarters in case I end up at a parking meter, but other than that, I don't really use coins anymore. All right, so I wish I had known about that Midori pocket holder sooner. Number 5, I wish I had stuck with a standard forever. I'm glad I tried an A5, but here's what happened. I like to use A5 journals. So I'll have this sometimes as my wallet, my planner, my list book, like a bullet journal. But for like my art journal and my cathartic writing and all that, I typically like an A5. And I like Newestor 1917, I like Moleskine, 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 however you want to pronounce it is fine with me. I like Alllllll 365, all those A5 notebooks. And so I went to Ting and, well, I didn't go to Taiwan, I messaged Ting, and I drew out my dream A5 traveler's notebook and wallet situation. And I decided that I was going to put everything all in one. It was going to be everything that's in here, all my planners and things like that, and my wallet, and some of those thicker journals, like a Newestor and a Alllllll. And so I had to make me this. And look, it opens up here, pocket, 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 pocket. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 card pockets there. 9, 10, 11, 12, so 4 more back here, plus this one that I put my ruler in, plus these pockets here, plus 4 bands, and these are folio pockets, so you can slide the covers of, for example, a Hobonichi or a hardcover Newestor or whatever you want. You can slide those in there for stability, and also use the bands, or not use the bands at all. It's so versatile. This is so beautiful. It feels so good. And it's super heavy. Very, very heavy. So what I found was that once I fully loaded it with all like my cards, my money, here it even has, did I show you? It has these too. Like that you can slip money and receipts and stickers and things into. So once I had kind of loaded all that, and then I put, I believe I had a Hobonichi in it, I'm walking around with this thing and like it was loading me down. It was heavy in my tote bag. It became a burden to carry. And then I got sad because it's so pretty. So I ended up going back to the standard just because it's so much lighter weight. And what I'm going to be using this one for is like a formal art journal. I'm going to get the best sketchbook that's A5 size that I can find and put that in here once I've kind of tested out sketchbooks to see which one I really like best. I'm going to put that in here, and then I'm going to make swatch cards for each of my watercolor brands. I'm going to put those in here, and I'm going to use it as a, like I said, very formal, beautiful art journal, and it's going to stay at home. It's going to stay looking pretty on my desk or my bookcase, and I'm going to use it just while I'm home, and then I don't have to worry about the weight, because it really is absolutely gorgeous. It's just too heavy for an everyday carry. So number 5 was that I wish I had just stuck with a standard. Number 6. I wish that I hadn't tried to only use Midori Travelers Company branded inserts from the start. So once I stopped trying to make my own and I moved into, in that case, it was a Poromo, I got like the 01, the 02, the 03, the 018, the 0 whatevers from Midori Travelers Company. Because they make a blank, and they make a ruled, and they make a dot grid, and they make a square grid, and they make a lighter paper, and they make a heavier paper, and they make planners of varying layouts. And what I found was that it's better to choose what works best for you from each brand. Don't feel like all of your inserts have to be matchy-matchy. Don't feel like they have to all have the same brand name on them. Don't feel like in order to be part of the Traveler's Notebook community that you have to use Midori Travelers Company. You don't. So what I use right now is the Midori 018 calendar. This is a blank calendar. It has the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday marked for you. It has the lines drawn, in this case vertical, but they also have one that's horizontal. I'll put links to both down below. Because it's undated, you can write in the dates starting whatever you want. So if you want yours to start August 1st, go for it. If you want it to start November 21st, go for it. Doesn't matter. You can start whenever you want. And there's 26 weeks, I think, in each of these little inserts. I have decorated mine with a sticker. I am on like my 8th one of these. I've been using them for several years. I really like the paper. I like that I can use watercolors and pens and markers and all that good stuff, and it doesn't bleed through unless it's a big bold Sharpie. Everything else is fine. I can use my favorite stickers with it. I can use my little tabs here. These are from Avery. They're repositionable tabs. And it's my happy place as a planner. So this is Midori, and like I said, the card pockets that I put in front, those are Midori Travelers Company. However, my other inserts are from different places. This first insert, let's see, where am I? Right here, this first one. This is from Sovereign Gear. And the last time I looked, they didn't have these in stock, but I'm going to put the link to it anyway in case they come back. These inserts are a little less expensive than Midori. And in my opinion, the paper is a little bit heavier, so it holds up longer if it's going to be a book that's going to migrate through your different years. So this is my list book. I have made videos about this before. I'll put a link to it in the description. But I set it up to do anything in my life that is in list form. It's like automotive, beauty, healthcare, movies and series that I'm watching, books I'm reading, quotes I'm collecting. All of that kind of thing goes in here. And I prefer this square grid. And I prefer the Sovereign Gear because they're really, really sturdy. And so one of these list books usually lasts me like 2 or 3 years before I fill it up. So it can hang in there as the planners come in and out and the journals come in and out. Okay? So these were from Sovereign Gear. Again, I'll put the link in the description. Hopefully they'll come back soon. Okay, bookmark them. And then for my journal, this one back here, this is from Wanderings. Wanderings makes these in blank, dot grid, and ruled. The blank, of course, looks just like this, nice and plain. The dot grid, I'm not sure about the specs because I don't use dot grids. And the ruled is usually 8 millimeters, so it's a wide rule. But these, again, are a little bit less expensive than Midori, so it makes them a little more wallet friendly. They sell them in sets of 3, and you can get them, I marked Wanderings old because this was my last batch. You can get them on Amazon, and you can also get them on Etsy, so I'll put links to both. They do have sewn bindings. They come with rounded corners, so you don't have to do that. I rounded the corners on my Midori calendar here. It started off with square, but the Wanderings are already rounded for you. And the reason that I really, really, really like using this for my journal is that these take watercolor nicely. So that's important. I can sometimes get away with painting on both sides of the page. I can definitely get away with painting on one side and then writing on the back because watercolor doesn't bleed through. So they're really versatile. I'll have to make a whole separate video about these. So a commenter had mentioned, a very sweet viewer had mentioned that they ordered Wanderings inserts a couple months ago and they were a different paper, but rest assured, I just bought new ones last week and they're back to normal. So yay, Wanderings. So I'll put a link to those. So Wanderings, Sovereign Gear, those are good choices to kind of save you a few pennies since Midori inserts can be quite pricey. Okay, number 7. I wish I had known from day one about the importance of binder clips. So I have some silver ones and gold ones and the regular black ones. And I'll put a link to my favorite gold ones that come in a variety of sizes. But here are the two things that they're most useful for me. First of all, when I am journaling, so I'm sitting here, I've opened up the page, and I'd like to paint in my Wanderings insert, I always take the page and I take this notebook, but also the one behind it and whatever else I can fit in here. Give it plenty of stability. And then I paint and I let it dry completely, then take the binder clip off. And what that does is, first of all, hold it down while I'm painting. Second of all, it keeps the paper from buckling as much with the watercolor. Then it dries, then you close it, and it gets flatter as you go because you've got it bunched up like this in your tote bag, and it kind of acts like a press, right? So it keeps it from buckling as much. And then also, I tend to post a lot of my entries on Instagram. And so if you go like this and you clip them down, then that way you can take pictures easier and they'll stay open. Or like if you need to reference something that you've written, this helps keep it open so that you don't have to have your hand on it. So I just find the binder clips extremely useful, and I always have several in my tote bag and in the little carry bag that I take my art supplies around the house in. There's always binder clips everywhere. So that's number 7. Number 8, I wish I had known how to remove a water stain properly. And the funny thing is, I still don't know how to remove a water stain properly. So here's what happened, and I'm going to ask if anyone has any tips for getting this out. Right here, I don't know if you can see it, but right there and kind of around like this, there was a small drop of water. I did a bad thing, and I took my beloved traveler's notebook to the pool. I know it was not a good idea, but I was the only one at the pool, so it's not like people were splashing around me or anything. I just had reached in my tote bag to grab something, and my hand must have been wet, and I got a tiny little drop of water here. Well, whatever I did to try to fix it based on all of the DIY tricks that I saw online made it even kind of worse. So now it has this like dark spot around here, and then I had tried to make a long story short, I didn't fix it correctly. Now, with a traveler's notebook, half the fun is kind of the patina that it gets as you use it. You're going to get marks. It's going to wear more where your hand hits it or get darker. It's going to, like if it's a Wanderings one like this, it's going to get marks as it scratches things and you see the pickup in the leather. This is the original Poromo that I had, and I mean, that looks like it's been in a barn with horses because I've used it so much over the years and it has just worn to this incredible like Western look. Well, it's gonna get messy, it's gonna get marks on it, it's okay. But sometimes there's a mark that you don't want. And I would like guidance if anybody out there knows. I wish I'd known how to remove a water stain, and I still do. So it's right here, and I could just look at it as kind of a mark of love, or I could try to tell myself that the mark is there because I hold it like this, so it's going to be darker in that area anyway. Like on the back, it's darker in the area where my hand holds. Maybe I can just get used to it. But anyway, it's no longer a perfect apple pig leather art traveler's notebook. It's starting to get some patina from the wear, from the years. It's starting to become its own thing. It doesn't look brand new anymore. And although I'm happy about that, I wish I had known how to deal with the water stain. All right, number 9. I wish I had known how to archive my inserts from the beginning. So there are a couple of things that you can do to archive. A lot of people will take like a Rubbermaid container and they will take their inserts like this. This one was from March 2022. they would take their inserts and they just line them up like this in a Rubbermaid container. That is a wonderful idea. It works nicely for storage. They stack well and all that, keeps the water out. Good idea. However, I want mine to still be in book form. I want to still be able to open them up and flip through them. So you can find inexpensive traveler's notebooks on Amazon or Etsy. Look for sales. Go through and find the ones that are relatively inexpensive to begin with, mark them, and then see when they go on sale. I got this one for roughly $10. This is not real leather, it's PU leather. It's on Amazon, and I don't know what the brand is, so I'm going to refer to it in the description as the Feather PU Traveler's Notebook, because it came with this feather charm attached, okay? So this one opens up. It does not have pockets. It has just one real band plus a jump band like that. So I was able to put 3. I could probably get a couple of extra if I used more jump bands in here. But for right now, it's archiving 3 inserts. And like I said, roughly $10 on sale. It's not that inexpensive today, but again, mark them, because like when Prime days come up, sometimes they'll be like 50% off, and you can get some deals on these little things. Now make sure that you get the ones with the right measurements, because a lot of the inexpensive traveler's notebooks on Amazon are only going to be about 7-ish inches tall, and that is too short for your standard size inserts. So this one was the correct size. Yeah, the benefit of finding the ones on sale is that you get that cozy, like, pocketbook feeling when you go back through your old inserts and read them. And they can line up on your bookshelf and look real pretty lined up. Those are one option. The other option is that Midori makes its own archiving system. I will put the link to it in the description, because like all the Travelers Company items, it has its own number. It's like 01 something. And they're these little cardboard, they have a little like reinforcement that's metal, but mostly they're cardboard. And then they have these wires that hold, I believe, up to 5 inserts, depending on how thick your inserts are. If you have added a lot of things and made them chunky, you might only be able to fit 3 or 4, but they do fit up to 5, and they are available on Amazon, so you can certainly go that way as well instead of looking for actual TNs. All right, number 10, I wish I had known about the back bump on the Midori, because then I wouldn't have coveted one from the start. I am so grateful that Midori Travelers Company started this trend. I am so grateful that they make my favorite little planner ever. But the actual Travelers Company notebooks have the knot, instead of being in the spine like this, the knot is on the back. So when you sit it on a table like this, and you go to write, especially on kind of the bottom pages, there's a bump. Almost every other traveler's notebook in the world puts the bump in the spine, but Midori puts it on the back, and that would bug me, honestly. So I have never actually purchased a real Midori Travelers Company notebook, because that is a design thing that I don't like. And if I had known that from the beginning, I would not have coveted a real Midori Travelers Company notebook, and I would have just dived right into the other brands instead. So heads up, Midori Travelers Company has a bump on the back. Some people like it. I don't like it. All right, number 11. I wish that I had known about Etsy sellers with inserts sooner. Etsy sellers like Good Impressions and Paper Penguin Co. sell neat options, so many options, and there are many printable choices as well if you want to try making your own. So you can go to Etsy. I'll put a link to my favorite shops in the description, and some of them will have them already prepared for you. They're already printed. They're just beautifully folded and cut and lovely, and you can pay them and they will send them right to your door. And you can get them in calendar format. Some of them have Tomoe River paper, some have Clairefontaine, some of them have Rhodia. There's lots of different paper options. There are some people on Etsy who are making them with watercolor paper inserts, which is really nice. Or you can go to Etsy, to the other link I have, and they're all printable designs. So they're formatted to be exactly the right size for a standard or an A5 or whatever size you're using. You print them, you cut them, you fold them, you sew them, etc., or staple them. You do all the work yourself, but that's another option. There are so many, there are probably thousands of options on Etsy right now. So I'll put a link to my favorites, but have fun exploring. You are not limited to the inserts that you find on Amazon or through Traveler's Company. And number 12, we're finally at the last one. I wish that I had started journaling daily sooner. And I have to thank the Traveler's Notebook world for spurring me to do that. It's been a real blessing. I did journal sporadically over the years, but it didn't become a consistent practice until I found the Traveler's Notebook community on YouTube. And so this is my thank you to everyone out there who has put their inspiration in YouTube videos and on Instagram and on Reddit and on your blogs. I am so thankful for all of you. I'm thankful to Midori for getting this whole thing started. I really enjoy this community, and you inspire me to fill the pages of my notebooks and do memory keeping and do planning and do cathartic writing and make art. The Traveler's Notebook itself is just the tool. The inspiration comes from all of you out there who are using the Traveler's Notebooks. Thank you so much for putting your work out there and giving me great ideas and allowing me to share my ideas with you. Thank you for watching this video. I'm glad you've been here. I have a couple of questions for you. What Traveler's Notebook is your favorite? Put those in the comments section. What lessons have you learned along the way? What can you teach everybody else? I'd like to learn from you. So put your tips in the description. And finally, what are some other 12 things topics that you would like me to do? I did a 12 things watercolor topic a couple of months ago, and I will put a link to that in the description. But I can do journaling, photography, hosting a YouTube channel, maybe calligraphy and hand lettering, drawing. I don't know. Would you like to see any of those? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day and enjoy whatever notebook you choose to put your creativity into. Bye-bye.